So, do you have any confidence in today's society with our educational system, the way kids act, how snobbish they're being, and how being smart is looked down upon?
I mean, are you really kidding me with that? Because realistically, this is the worst that I've ever seen a generation get raised up to be. And I hate to say it too, because we're part of that generation that just graduated. However, I was bashed multiple times for getting into physics, for getting into discussions, for getting into science. People were like, that's not cool, or like they just don't want to be dumbed down. They don't want to know extra stuff. Like
Yeah,
nowadays, kids are being put down for being too smart or getting out of the box or getting into in-depth conversations. Is that right?
you get made for studying, you get made fun of for trying, and it's getting to the point. It's like, what's the future gonna be like if that's the attitude with learning? That's
Yeah.
stupid.
I mean, I remember kids doing whenever a couple classes getting A's on some tests, getting called a nerd.
It's like, oh, you nerd, like that. It's like, really? You got enough.
Yeah.
You're just jealous.
I mean, realistically,
Yeah.
we laugh about it now and everything, but that's how it works every day, folks. And I mean, I hope you.
We think it's funny now, but let's say in 50 years, when you go buy something in a store and the kid can't even count change. That's actually happening now.
Oh yeah, I mean, most definitely. I mean, well, the big problem now with there's people working, a lot of people don't want to work anymore because they don't have to.
Yeah, 'cause they're too damn lazy.
And our education system just, the thing wrong with our schools nowadays is just they just want to get kids through to make their school look good. They'll do anything to pass kids to make their school look like they're passing every kid.
And all the work they give us is just busy work. They don't prepare us for the future in any way whatsoever. They only prepare us for standardized tests, like the PSSAs, for example.
Which is also if you fell enough times.
Yeah, you
Other
still
tests.
pass. You get
Everyone
what,
gets
3,
their-
3, 4, 20
Everyone
chances.
gets their diploma if they just go to
Yeah.
school a little bit. And well, the thing about the education system, what people have to really realize is, for example, back in the '60s, I know not as many people went to high school. However, their quality of education was so much better. And for example, like I was just first finding my high school because the reason why I was reading this Albert Einstein General Relativity book was because I already knew the stuff you were being taught in school, high school. Like wasn't this was something new. This was something I learned myself, and I looked at the date. It was actually a textbook from the '60s that high school students used to use. I couldn't even imagine students getting something like that nowadays. I mean, I even struggle with it. So, what do
Yeah.
you think about all that?
Like, I read an article the other day. It's like an exam for an 8th grader in 1912. It was so hard, and I'm a sophomore in college going for engineering, and I maybe could get like one question on it, and that was in 1912.
See, this current generation, it makes people think that our past was dumbed down.
Right?
In
Reality, it wasn't.
I mean, in reality, this isn't time, people. Look at it, people. Kids nowadays,
Yeah.
their cartoon is Family Guy. It's South Park. Little kids.
Yeah,
Robot
like a
Chicken.
6-year-old.
Like, come on, like there's a point where you had to come in.
I didn't start watching that till at least 13, 14.
Early childhood development is what's going to affect the child's mental state of ability, like his whole entire life, like how they're raised. You'd agree on that, like the first 10, 15 years. That's how they're going to be. If they're raised to think that's just normal to think they can go hijack cars and Grand Theft Auto and stuff. Like I'm not trying to sound strict. Like video games are fun, but there's a certain limit where
There's a lot of kids that take that into real life.
I just think we're getting into a bad point with the education system and overall, even just common sense. Like I look, me and some buddies from school did that. We thought a little more like we were into science and stuff. We just look around at people and like, could you take them serious in the real world?
Maybe.
And most of those people now are the same way. Like, I mean, it's really depressing if you think about it. It really would depress us.
It really is.
Like,
And we're considered to be part of the worst generation in America.
don't lose hope in everyone that people will like.
Like
I know you
there's
gotta
still a
think on
good
it.
majority of us that know our stuff, have common sense, but the majority, no.
I mean, we can't have other countries, people like North Korea and South Korea, overcoming us technology-wise with weapons or anything like that. Like I know we're more advanced than them right now and everything, but at this rate, people, who's going to be your physicist 50 years from now, 30 years from now? Who's going to be your scientist developing things 30, 40 years from now? What, maybe a couple kids, like right now we have 30,000 physicists, and they say about 2030 we're going to be down to 15,000. That's a huge gap. I'm sure engineering might be the same way. I'd say engineering is on a steady incline, though. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it is.
I'd say this generation actually has more kids coming out that are trying for engineering, that are trying to develop things. I don't think we're not going to be behind technology-wise, but I'm saying it's going to be maybe like a 1/4% is it, though. That's got to be educated.
Yeah, but there's a
Would
lot of
you
people that
laugh
do
at?
go into engineering, but they can't handle it and they drop out.
Yeah.
And some just don't like change the majors; they just drop out completely and go into the workforce, work at McDonald's or
I
something.
mean, there's nothing wrong with the workforce because we need people
Yeah.
to work all kind of jobs. I mean, on one part is as long as you're out working like in your life, but just don't ever be one of those people though, like putting someone down for being educated,
Yeah, that
for
pisses
going
me
to
off.
school,
Like,
for seeing kids getting hazed or like one of Bill Gates' sayings, man. Like one of my favorite sayings is, "Don't make fun of nerds in school,
'Cause you'll be working for
you'll
them."
be working for one." Yeah, I mean that's the truth. I mean,
Yeah,
you shouldn't, criticize people for being smart, for people getting A's on the test,
'Cause
calling them a nerd.
it's the smart people that make all the technology you use every day.
I hate to say it, people, but we just graduated not too long ago from school, and this is exactly how it was.
Yep.
Believe it or not, no exaggerations. Like, just people wouldn't take you serious if you talk physics. They look at you like you're crazy, or you didn't know, or they just people don't want to learn anymore. People don't want to open up to new ideas. They'd rather watch some reality TV show. They'd rather care about an athlete's life.
They'd rather watch Miley Cyrus twerk.
Yeah, I mean, they would rather watch these trending videos or whatever it's out with celebrities. They'd rather criticize someone else's life when they have their own faults in their own. Like Miley Cyrus,
Like,
people
people
take
worry
her
more
serious.
about
Who
like
cares?
celebrities' lives.
They're rich,
and they don't
they're
worry
doing it
about
for
their
a
life
reason.
at all.
Yeah. So many people, and it all starts in the education system, though. How you're brought up needs to change. Needs to change within the next 10 years.
We need education reform.
We really do. I don't see the
'Cause you
point
go
of
to
Obama
school-
trying to cut teachers. What's that got to do?
Yeah.
You want us to be worse than we already are?
Like,
What would you say about that? Henry, what do you say about that, Obama?
oh man, nothing good.
Cutting education system. That's one of the
Yeah.
worst things you can do
'Cause our
for the
education.
outright. Sure,
is
it's
our
going to
future.
free up $1 million, a little bit in
And
debt.
where are we gonna use that for? War.
Yeah. Oh, we're just going to make some
Pointless
more
wars,
bombs.
actually.
Yeah.
That's it.
We're going to order some more coffins to order for the government. We're going to order 20,000 more of those. I don't know. It almost makes me think that they're preparing for something that we won't
You
get
go to
education
school,
in the future.
you come out, know nothing about the real world. You don't know how to do taxes, write a check, write a resume, sign up for financial aid.
I think there should be more hands-on training for kids. Not everyone wants to be a bookworm or book smart either.
Yeah.
I think they should have more programs in school that gives kids the chance. They do have some welding programs and stuff. However, I mean actual carpentry skills. Like the kids could learn so much more how to structure building blocks at foundation or a house. The kids that want to learn the tech field instead.
Yeah.
Like they could go learn that in high school, and then they're out working for companies, private companies, keeping small businesses in business, creating small businesses. There's always going to be a need for building houses, electrical. Like I think they should maybe let kids in middle school choose their route. Maybe if that's what they want to go with, you can always switch. But at least when they get out of high school, they're not just now getting into a tech field. They're not just now. Well, I'm out of high school. Now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like that's what's
And,
happening.
like school should help you, like look into your future instead of hey, you need algebra, history. You need your English, nothing else.
Guidance counselors anymore, people, they'd rather you just. They'd rather.
They rather say just get over it, pretty much.
Yeah, they'd rather not help you out anymore. Guidance counselors is what I'm getting at. They'd rather just watch you go through high school and not
sure
not
you don't
bother them.
cry
They want
yourself
their
to
job.
sleep.
They want their job to be easiest. I'll tell you one thing: if I was a guidance counselor getting that kind of money, out of state, out of our tax and stuff, you know what I'd do? I'd make sure kids have basic understanding. I'd make sure each kid that's graduating that year has potential in a field, something similar, other than saying, "Oh, well, you can go join the military." That was that was the biggest thing.
Yeah, like
to, oh, you could
we'd
join
have
the
someone
military.
from the military come in every week.
Nothing
Actually,
against
a couple
the military.
times a
I mean, nothing.
Yeah.
We need people to
I
fight.
mean, it is a job.
Yep, we need puppets. I mean, people
Some sheep.
to fight for a government. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to do it, hey, you might get free college when you're out. I mean,
Supposedly you get free college.
You might be even though you only get paid up to I think like 70-60% actually, not even the full thing. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure.
You don't. I mean, maybe it's different now. However, I mean, the good chances are that you go to war. Majority, more than 70% are coming back with PTSD.
Yeah, and that just fucks up their whole life.
Relatives, man. That's nothing to joke around about. It's serious problems because they're doing the government politicians' work. We'll cut it out before this might go off. Best place. Don't you agree?